Let's get going. So, good evening, everyone. And welcome to day number 7. It's day number 7 in the BCC's 12 Days of Christmas, this very innovative new format that is trying to replace our traditional Christmas lunch that we have normally on the 18th. So a week from now is going to be the 18th. So that's going to be our last day of the 12 Days of Christmas, and we'll have a fireside chat. But tonight, I'd like to welcome you all in our kitchens. Welcome to my kitchen. But my kitchen is not going to be the heart of the story because it's going to be Anne's kitchen. So we have Anne Faber with us tonight. Thank you very much, Anne, for being with us. It's a real pleasure. Most of you most probably know Anne for her TV shows, many different formats. She's been a lifesaver for many people during the confinement period, where regularly she would help people cook and survive, help them from starving. So she's been very famous on TV. She's more and more famous on social media. She's got books that have come out, and then she's doing events. So you can ask her to come and cook with you. She can do events for you. So we're very happy to have her with us tonight. So hello, Anne. Also, hello to all of you, of course. Hello to Claudia, who's going to co-host the evening tonight and who's going to be the sidekick of Anne for this first cooking show that we are doing. Immediately, a huge thanks as well to our sponsor, to DO Recruitment Advisors. Normally, we had the pleasure over the last 2 years to have them as sponsor for the Christmas, how they call them again, Rebecca?
Crackers.
The Christmas,
Crackers.
The crackers, absolutely.
Yeah.
So the most famous crackers, we always had a Christmas lunch. We were always sponsored by DO Recruitment, always a very fun part of our lunch. And tonight, they're for sponsoring the cooking show. So thanks to you. I think they're all also on the call tonight. So we'll be cooking some finger food as far as I read and have prepared for this. So really looking into that. Maybe just a quick note on what's still ahead. You know, next week we're going to have 5 more shows. Here is the list of them. So we're going to start next Monday with Ara City Radio and Solomon. We're going to have Christmas favorites. So I already heard a little bit of the playing list. So it's going to be interesting. We're going to have an evening full of Christmas songs. Then together with Jim Kent, we're going to have a pub quiz evening on the 15th. I will try to make a cocktail next Wednesday. Let's see what's going to happen. It's going to happen in this kitchen as well. So some cocktail secrets with a poetry competition with the British Luxembourg Society. And then finally, we're going to conclude these 12 days of Christmas. May I really say, I hope we're going to do many 12 days next year, but not because of COVID. Let's do lots of 12 days events where we're going to meet together. We're going to have fun together online, but also let's hope to meet again in real life and again meet each other for the Christmas lunch. So we're going to finish the 12 days this year with a fireside chat with Ambassador John Marshall. So it's going to be very interesting as well. But today we're in the kitchen. It's almost weekend. For some it's weekend, some are going to work on Saturday. So we need to get ready to have some food. So without further ado, Anne and Claudia, over to you.
Great, thank you very much, Claudia.
So I would just like to say this is an interactive session, and please feel free to use the chat if you have any questions. And at the end, it would be super if you could hold your dishes into the camera and take a picture of your dishes and post them on Instagram. I will be putting the hashtags into the chat. So Anne, over to you.
Great, thank you very much. So hello everyone, I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're already a little bit peckish because we're going to be, making 2 amazing, very simple finger food dishes, which I love to make in my cooking classes. And since this is the British Chamber of Commerce, I thought we need to have something kind of British, but with a Luxembourgish taste. And that's where my Luxembourgish sausage rolls come in. So to many Luxembourgers, this dish has been a revelation. To many Brits, it will be sausage roll. Yeah, bring them. We know them. We take them to picnics. We eat them all the time. So I made the sausage roll famous in Luxembourgish kitchens now. And the Luxembourgish touch is actually the sausage. because in the UK, I guess you use English sausages, there's so many types. But in Luxembourg, we've got one type of sausage which is perfect for sausage rolls, and that's the wine sauces. Actually, before this cooking class, did any of you know the wine sauces? Is this something you've cooked or eaten before? And while we do that, actually, you can already slice open your sausages. So basically, we've got the little sausages. You slice them open and you remove the casing, because then it's easier to cut later.
Do we heat our ovens yet, Anne?
Yes, please. Heat the oven to 200 degrees. Very, very good. Love having a co-host. And we just remove the casings. You could leave them on, but I find it's easier to cut the sausage rolls later when the casing is gone. So the Luxembourgish wine sauces is really the most, well, there is also Mettwurst, of course, which we all love. And there's the Luxembourger Grillwurst. But I've made the sausage rolls with both of them before. And I have to say, the wine sauces is always the winner. So I'll just remove the casing. And yeah, I mean, wine sauces is something in Luxembourg that traditionally is eaten pan-fried. And then you add a bit of mustard to the pan with the frying sausages. And then you add wine. That's why it's called the wine sauces. I always thought it was called wine sauces because the sausage is made with wine. But apparently it's not, it's just the sauce. But I got a trick from someone who loves wine very much as well. And they told me that they prick the sausage and then drizzle it with a bit of wine and leave it to marinate overnight so it soaks up the wine. That's a wine sauces I would like to try. Sounds very good. So,
that sounds like an amazing trick for the next barbecue session next summer. Drizzle your sausage with wine, very Luxembourgish. Or should we drizzle them with cremant?
Oh my God, yeah. Actually, that's a good idea. If ever you have some leftover cremant in a bottle, I'll have lots of you saying, what is leftover cremant? Does that exist? Well, but actually, if you do, you can always cook with it, or maybe use it to soak your sausage. Right, just quickly washing my hands. So once you've removed the casings, we can just put them aside for a second, and we'll get our puff pastry. So we probably got it. In Luxembourg, the most traditional puff pastries are always round, which really annoyed me when I came back, because in the UK, most puff pastries you get are square. And it's far easier to make anything with a square piece of pastry than with a round one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, so I'm just unrolling the pastry. And now I've got some coarse grain mustard. And usually I would take the Luxembourgish mustard, but somebody gave me some French mustard. So let's just not tell anyone, but pretend it's Luxembourgish. You can use any mustard you want, but the coarse grain mustard doesn't make it so messy in the end, so it doesn't melt as much in the oven. Whereas if you use the paste mustard, it can get a bit messy. So we'll just spread the base with mustard. It's very simple. I know that a lot of kids at cooking classes prefer the smooth mustard, so don't worry, use any mustard you have. By the way, the Luxembourgish mustard, isn't that something, I mean, I don't know, many of you must be expats here. The Luxembourgish mustard is quite different, isn't it?
It's the best mustard in the world.
Who said that?
Is it?
Mary, I'm addicted to it.
Perfect. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. And they now actually, the Moutarderie de Luxembourg, the Luxembourgish, the main brand of mustard, they just released a very spicy mustard that resembles the Dijon mustard quite a bit.
Wow. Which
I find is quite interesting. It's really good. I like a bit of spicy mustard from time to time, especially in salad dressings. Right.
How's everybody getting on?
Have you lined your
it looks good.
Good. So now it's really easy. We'll just place the sausages lengthwise on the pastry. So you just put one on there. And then you cut, leaving a bit of space so that you can roll it up like a little blanket. So I can't really lift it now, but it's really, I mean, it is pigs in blankets, isn't it? So we'll just roll it up, and then we seal it at the seam. So I just realized I cut it a bit not long enough, but if you pull the pastry a tiny bit, you can just get it over. Just make sure to push it down at the seal, so that it seals, that it doesn't spill out. And then at the ends, since I have a round pastry, what I do at the ends is I'll just fold it over. So that piece has extra pastry. I mean, it's really, it's not a fancy dish, right? We're not making like haute cuisine finger food here. This is really one of the most basic dishes, but it's, honestly, it's so good, hot or cold. You can freeze them. It's great. So for the next one, I'm actually using 1.5 sausages because it's a bit longer than the sausage. So are many people, I mean, everybody at the BCC must have some connection to the UK, right?
Yeah.
Are there many Brits here, or what is, I mean, I don't really, tell me a bit about the group here. Like maybe people can tell me a bit what brings them to Luxembourg or how they come.
Well, I'm in London right now.
Oh my God!
Wow!
Oh, wow.
Wow!
That's about as UK as it gets.
Yeah. So I am. Yeah. So we're British. Aber wir sind Luxembourger. So we're here and do business back and forth to Luxembourg. So in the BCC. Yeah.
So you probably didn't get any wine sauces for this dish today.
No, we're using bratwurst. So.
Oh,
That's good. That's good as well. Why not?
And some of us are Irish, but don't tell everyone.
Brilliant. Very good people. Very good.
And we have some Scottish also.
Mm-hmm.
We're in
Canadian.
London as well. We're in Wimbledon.
Pardon?
Well, I guess I'm cheating, huh? Well, I've lived in London for what, 3 years, so it's not that bad, right? I'm from Holland, actually.
oh, from Holland.
Yeah.
We live in a.
Okay.
What's that?
That was Alana. They live in Wimbledon.
Oh,
Wimbledon, lovely.
My first thought is always strawberries and cream. It's such a cliche. But it is.
It's a good cliche.
I lived in the UK for 12 years, actually. So I studied in the UK. I went to Canterbury to study English and American literature with film studies. And then I went to London and I worked there as a journalist for many years. Worked for lots of different clients, and I loved London. I loved it so much. And I think the food scene in London really influenced my cooking. Like always the innovation, the kind of like trying to find new ways to reinterpret classics, the pub culture. I mean, pub food is amazing in London or in the UK generally. I find it's completely underrated. And my very first book and TV show actually focused on British food. And I remember when I pitched to RTL that I wanted to do this, and they were very much up for me doing a show. And then they said, oh, what is it going to be about? And I said, oh, British food. And their first reaction was like, are you kidding us? What the heck? And so I told them, look, it's so interesting. It's like really undergoing a lot of influences from across the world. And it's really where it's happening right now in Britain. And so we filmed the whole show of me cooking in my London kitchen and making food inspired by the different places in London. So I traveled through London, like through different areas, and we filmed there. And suddenly in Luxembourg, everybody started making steak and ale pie.
wow.
And buns and other things. So it's good. Right.
How did you come to be a chef? What was the decisive moment when you thought this is what I want to do?
So I've always loved eating and I've always loved cooking. And just by the way, if you already wrap them all, you can cut them into bite-sized pieces now. So I've always loved cooking, I've always loved eating, and I've always loved journalism. And so I decided to become a journalist, but to specialize on food and drink writing and filming. And I actually managed to get a job in London at Time Out, which some of you might know. It used to be at least a very good magazine. And I became a restaurant critic for them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I worked 2.5 years as a restaurant critic in London, which was amazing. But I always wanted, at the same time I had my food blog, so I did that as well. And it just one thing led to another, that I thought I want to tell stories through food. And that's why I don't consider myself a chef. I consider myself more of somebody who loves cooking and telling story, like a food journalist. Mm-hmm. By the way, I don't know how your kitchen is, but my kitchen is getting really hot because I've had the oven on for a while. And it means that the dough can become quite sticky. Mm-hmm. If this happens, well, not now, but normally if this happens, what you can do is you can put the rolls in the freezer or in the fridge for a bit. So just that they set back so they don't become so messy. But there's nothing wrong with a messy sausage roll. I mean, they're gone in a moment. Not now really sticky.
This bake tray lined with baking paper.
Yeah, just put it on a baking tray lined with baking paper. Mm-hmm. I have a silicone mat, that's why I'm putting it on there.
And I remember on one of your shows, you said that in London you had a very small studio, but then you were like in Luxembourg, you were like in a schmelz or like an ironworks or something. You like had a lot more room.
So that was actually my former studio in Luxembourg. I got in London. I filmed in my flat, so it was a bit like the situation now. I was in my actual kitchen, but then when I moved back to Luxembourg, I managed to get a bit of budget, and I decided to actually build a proper film studio with a, fake kitchen. I was a bit like Nigella Lawson, who recreated her kitchen. You know that it's not her kitchen she films in, but it is a complete recreation of it. Well, we just built my dream kitchen on set, and that was in Differdange, where there is a really nice place called 1535, and it's like an artist's hub, a creative hub. Lots of artists in there and people who are doing creative stuff. So I had my kitchen there. Wow. So that was really nice, but that was a while ago. And now I'm back to filming in my kitchen, which is also nice. By the way, just as a little trick, sometimes when I don't use the entire baking papers, what I do is I'll just cut off strips and then I'll crumble them and I put them together as one baking strip. Or the same thing, if you line a cake tin, and you know, like the baking paper tends to roll up, just crush it and re-unfold it, and it will stick in whatever shape you put it. So it's just something in the cooking classes, people often go like, oh yeah, okay. Oh my God, my sausage rolls are completely disintegrating, but I have to say I bought a puff pastry from a brand that I've never used before, so I'm not sure this one's so good. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. How is everybody getting on? Oh, I see thumbs up. So that's great.
Good.
We're just putting ours in the oven now.
Already?
Yeah.
Do we need to glaze them?
Have you brushed them with the egg yet?
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Stinking. That's the quickest ever. So, okay, so for those, well, I need to speed up here. Okay, so you get an egg out, and then we, you crack the egg and you mix it with, if you want, you can use a dash of milk as well to make it a bit smoother. I will actually. And you brush the top of your sausage rolls with that. And then we sprinkle some poppy seeds or sesame seeds or any seeds you want on it. Because that makes it, the egg wash makes it stick. It makes it really nice and shiny in the end, but it also makes the poppies stick. You don't have to put any seeds on if you don't want to, but the egg makes it shiny, you know? That's the egg wash idea of it.
Sorry, was it egg yolk or egg white?
I actually use
both. You mix it, okay.
I mix it. I know that traditionally people take only the egg yolk.
Yes.
But I always find, what do you do with the white then afterwards? So what I do I use the whole egg, and then with the leftover egg wash, I make a mini omelette that I eat. So I just always try to think a bit of also zero waste, because I mean, the egg white, I often freeze it and then I make some macarons with it or something. But I always find it a bit pretentious when in cooking shows they say, now you can freeze it and then you make your fancy meringues with it. And then I'm thinking, well, half of the people watching this will throw it away because they won't make a meringue, you know?
Yeah.
But an omelette anyone can make. So you just think, okay, well, let's just make a little thing with it. So I'm using poppy seeds for mine. What are you using out there?
I'm using pumpkin seeds.
Oh, nice.
We're using sesame seeds.
Ooh.
Nice.
Good. My first work is ready. So this makes quite a bunch. I mean, I'm pretty sure most of you will eat it. But if you can't eat them all, you can easily freeze the baked sausage rolls after and just reheat them in a hot oven. So you can bake them in advance. When I have my Christmas parties, usually every year I have a really big Christmas party at mine, where I invite all the people who I worked with that year or who are my friends. And I start usually prepping a week in advance for that party. And the sausage rolls, I make them normally 2 days ahead, or 1 or 2 days ahead. And then I just stick them in a Tupperware and I put them on my windowsill for 2 days, because the windowsill is a really good fridge during that time of year. And then I just reheat them the day that people come, and it's always perfect.
So for how long do they go in the oven?
20 minutes about. I mean, it depends. Every oven is different, so just keep a look on them. Just keep an eye on them just to make sure they don't burn. But in general, the rule of thumb for puff pastry is half an hour. But since this is very small bits of puff pastry, 20 minutes will definitely do. And I put the oven at 200°C fan. Having said that, again, my oven is a bit of a really dodgy oven, so it's often hotter than others. So I'll keep an eye on it. So
do we put it in the middle, at the bottom or the top?
I put them on the middle racks with a bit of distance. Since I'm using fan, it doesn't matter if you're putting them, I mean, you don't need to put them on the bottom because it's not going to make a huge difference. Fan assisted, I think you call it in English. So we'll just tidy the workspace a bit. Have a sip of wine, everyone. Cheers.
Cheers.
Very important. And I'm going to put on a little timer as well, actually. This is my favorite, absolutely unprofessional timer, but I found this one in Thailand and it has the shape of an apple. Oh. So it cost me like 50 cents and it's my favorite timer of all times. But yeah, it's not a fancy chef gear. Right, the work surface. And while they are in the oven, we can make the rest.
Does everybody have their sausage rolls in the oven? Yes. Yes.
You can wait.
Okay, super.
In that case, we can let the smoked salmon out, the chives, and some of the cream cheese, and we need some lemon as well. This is a very simple salmon pate. And whilst I lived in the UK, I discovered salmon pate, and I always bought it at a big British supermarket to treat myself once a month or something as a student to something fancy. And once I realized what salmon pate actually is, I was like, oh my God, it's so simple to make yourself and you can adjust the seasoning. So why buy it ready-made? So I'm using smoked salmon. I have made this before with smoked trout fillets. So actually in Luxembourg, we have native trout. So if you want to do a Luxembourgish version one day, you could buy the trout from Oerdaler. And I actually have some in the fridge because I have another cooking class on Sunday, and there we only use a bit more Luxembourgish things. So this is called the truite fumée from the Oerdal. Could be interesting for you as well. And these are fillets. So it's not as nice colored as a salmon, but it tastes also great. You can use any smoked fish in this. And I'm just going to roughly cut it before I put it in my mini blender. Just to, well, this is actually very soft. Sometimes it's less soft. Won't be a problem. So we'll just put that in. We'll use 100 grams. Sometimes as a student, I bought the salmon trimmings. You got those quite cheaply in the UK in the supermarket, the ones with like a bit of darker bits to it. Tastes just as great, and there's nothing wrong with it. And I think this is really what's so important about thinking about zero waste and about eating everything. It's, you don't need the premium cuts or the premium things to make something good, you know? You can just also sometimes use things that are maybe not the most beautiful, just like with the vegetables. Huh? I think in the UK they had a campaign for the ugly vegetables to use those, and I love that idea. Why does a vegetable need to be perfectly sized to put in a soup, for example? Yeah. So we're adding a bit of cream cheese to make it creamy. You could use sour cream. You could use crème fraîche, not a problem. I like the Philadelphia. In Luxembourg, we actually say Philadelphia for cream cheese because there's no word for cream cheese. Can you imagine? We have a fun language. And I'm also adding a bit of chives. You could also keep a few chives aside for like sprinkling it over later. Decoration. Again, salmon goes well with so many herbs. So you could, instead of chives, you could use dill, for example, if you wanted a bit more Scandinavian tasting. It's lovely. And I'm using lemon juice, but you could also use a bit of horseradish, for example, in this. A dollop of horseradish. The nice thing is, just like with the sausage roll, you can customize it. Cooking is about having fun, and it's about playing around. And it's not like baking, where if you don't follow the rules, you might end up with like a cake that's completely not a cake. But if you cook and you just kind of replace things, normally nothing really goes wrong. And as you learn, and I'm saying that for the kids as well, as you learn about taste and what you like and about cooking, you kind of learn as well to trust your instincts and just add a tiny bit of something you like to it. But when I was a child, I actually loved cinnamon so much that I put cinnamon in everything, including some Mexican corn fritters, which really, really didn't work. And my parents were very sweet and said it's very good, but it was horrible. Right, for the lemon, you can use lemon juice. I love a tiny bit of lemon zest in it as well. Gives it a bit more zing. Generally, I love lemon zest. I've come to adore one thing, which I serve a lot with any kind of dishes, which is yogurt, Greek yogurt, with salt and pepper and a bit of lemon zest.
Ooh.
I serve a dollop of that with many of my meat dishes, like meat stews, or if I make oriental dishes, and it's just, or with tomatoes as well. A tomato salad on a bit of this lemon yogurt. It's incredible. It's really something quite interesting.
But if we use lemon zest from a fresh lemon, the lemon should be organic, shouldn't it?
Yes, it should be organic because obviously they are being treated a lot. And even if it's organic, just wash it as well before you use it, definitely. Right, we're adding a bit of salt as well. And some pepper. I'm just going to have a look at the sausage rolls because my oven is strange, but it's fine. The pepper.
If we got all the ingredients in the bowl yet, can we blend it?
Yes, you can. That's exactly what I was about to do. Good question. You can now blend it. So now we're going to have the music sound of blending across Europe. Already. Doesn't matter if it's a bit coarse, you can blend it as long as you want if you want it finer. If you don't have a blender, you could even just finely chop the salmon, so finely, as fine as you can, and then just fold through the other ingredients, and you'll have more of a coarse pate. Not a problem, huh? But I like it blended. Oh, God, it looks so good already. Does your kitchen start to smell nice of sausage rolls? Mine does. Okay, right. Gonna try it. Oh yeah, love it.
Wow, that's such a great recipe.
You like it?
I love it.
I mean, I'm a bit thinking, oh my God, are people not thinking this is too simple? But the point is, it tastes so good.
Yeah.
And it's so easy. So what I'll do now with my pate is I'll put it in a piping bag with a star-shaped nozzle because I like to dress it nicely. If you don't have one, don't worry. You can spoon dollops on your croutons afterwards. There's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't make a huge portion, by the way. You can obviously up the amount to as much as you want. But once you pipe it on the toast, you will realize it actually makes more than you think. What did my recipe say? Yeah, about 30 canapes, so that's quite a bit.
We're doing the toast in a minute, right?
Yes, exactly. Oh, I was thinking, when you asked, I was thinking you were like, we're doing a toast in a minute. Yeah, of course.
We do that always.
Of course. Yes, no, we'll do the toasts now. But I just wanted to get the pate done first.
Do we have to toast it, or can we use bread? Or is it better to toast it?
No, we're going to toast it in the oven.
Okay.
Just when we say toast, or at least in Luxembourg, that's a lot of common mistake, we mean the bread with it.
Okay, yeah.
Not like that square bread for us in Luxembourg means toast.
Okay.
Whereas I guess in the UK you just say bread or sandwich bread or something. Right, I'm just quickly tidying my surface and then we can make the cutouts of the toast bread. So we have some sandwich bread I bought some crustless sandwich bread. If you've got a crust on it, you can cut the crust off. And this is the typical sandwich bread. I mean, I'm talking the bread that if you press it, it becomes, you can have a loaf of bread like that and you press it and it becomes this small, right? You know what I mean. It's a very simple, humble bread, but it's perfect for the croutons. Because what we'll do is you can use a rolling pin or you can use your hands. We'll flatten the bread. So it really becomes super thin. So you see it up, it's become very thin. But if you leave it for a while, it will puff up again. It's magic in that way. It's magic bread. So you'll roll it out thinly, and then you'll cut out your stars with a cookie cutter, or whatever cookie cutter you have. I have a heart-shaped one. So I'll do plenty of little cutouts. I also have my own cookie cutter, which I had made and which I'm selling actually in Luxembourg. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's a Luxembourgish shaped one. I don't know if you can see it, but it's the shape of Luxembourg. And it's being used a lot by embassies across the world, which makes me very proud, who make Luxembourg cookies. Look.
Wow.
So you got the little Luxembourg shape. And for croutons, it's sweet. I often have people saying, yeah, but I don't bake. And I'm like, yeah, but you can make a crouton with this. So you will have a lot of cutouts, like cut off bread. What you can do is also dry it in the oven with the other croutons, but without oil. And you can just whiz it up in your little food processor afterwards, and you'll have breadcrumbs, which you can use to coat some like schnitzels, or you can use it in burgers. You know, often breadcrumbs are used in burgers to with the meat, or you can also just cut it into small pieces and use it as croutons on a salad. And I think it's actually quite fun to make your own croutons for Christmas. Because, you know, in the supermarkets, I don't know what it's like where you are, but you often get these kind of shaped croutons for Christmas, you know, also for putting the foie gras on and stuff. And you pay premium price for it. But actually, at the end of the day, it's so simple to make yourself.
So what shaped cookies does everybody have? I have stars. What about you guys?
We have stars as well.
Oh, that's nice.
We've got unicorns.
What?
Ooh,
I want to
let's
see
have a
them.
look.
Oh my God. That is
The
the
tail's
coolest.
fallen off. But,
Oh, wow.
A bit bad.
Oh,
Amazing.
that's fantastic.
I actually think I own that Luxembourg cookie cutter, but it's in the loft along with the star-shaped cookie cutter with the Christmas tree. So I don't, I'm cutting them by hand here.
Yeah, good. Yeah, that cookie cutter was an idea that came to me when I wrote my book about Luxembourg. And I made some Luxembourg cookies. And there was a guy who had a 3D printer. And he made me a 3D Luxembourg shape to cut out cookies. And I was like, oh my God, that is genius. We need to make this for everyone. So I asked him, can you make me cookie cutters? And he was like, yeah, how many do you want? And I said, well, should we start with 1,000? And he was like, no, my 3D printer, I mean, you can't do 1,000. So I researched and I found a company abroad.
Oh, a Christmas tree.
We got a Christmas tree.
Oh, so
Ooh.
nice. Very festive. Oh, that's going to be a beautiful crouton. Yeah, and so now I've made over 10,000 cookie cutters. It's crazy. People love it, but it's really something. Why not? I think in a small country like ours, we can celebrate with a cookie cutter. Why not? Nobody knows what it means, but it's our country.
So we have an angel here. We've done our first angel.
Ooh.
And a snowflake. And a snowflake.
Oh, wow.
So my sausage rolls are starting to look really good. So maybe have a look just in case you need to turn them around. My oven is being peculiar again.
Do we need to turn them around? Is that what you said?
No, it depends on your oven. Since my oven is always burning everything on the back right, I need to turn them around. But it's just worth having a look, just to be sure.
We've also got.
What have you got there? Oh, nice. It's a heart. Cute.
Oh, very cute.
Too.
So,
Oh, good. Looks good.
Beautiful.
Elena, I have the same.
oh, Alana, that's beautiful.
Competition here.
Alana, do you like my angel? Oh, a flying angel. What?
Just lining another baking tray with baking paper. And then we'll bake the croutons in the oven. But I first, sorry, noise. I normally brush them with a bit of fat. So you can either use melted butter to brush them with, or I'm going to use olive oil today. But it's totally up to you. Sometimes I use olive oil when I'm a bit lazy and I don't want to melt the butter. But it tastes really good. You can also just, if you don't want to have it so greasy, you can also just omit, you can do it without the oil, right? Or without the butter. It's just, since it's Christmas, we should indulge.
Definitely.
And then if you want, and I do that, I love a bit of salt on a crouton, so I'm going to add a tiny bit of fleur de sel, so a bit of sea salt flakes, and a tiny bit of pepper on top of the croutons too.
Mm.
So that's up to you, but I think it just gives it a bit more va-va-voom, so to say. Oh, in the UK, you have some really good salt flakes, like the Malden sea salt. Oh, that really is one product I love.
Is everybody watching their rolls?
Yes, because the rolls are supposed to be done in 2 minutes. So
Okay.
they might already be done, because some of you might have been in there earlier, or the ovens are different. So mine are good. I'm going to take mine out now. But I'll keep the timer going, just to let you know. Then I can hear another timer.
Does the oven need to cool down for the croutons a little bit?
No. Well, you can turn it down, but it doesn't matter if you put it in like that. Normally the croutons, I leave them in for 10 minutes, but if we keep it on 200, we'll just like do a timer of 5 minutes and have a look. So just put it in, and then we'll have a look. You could also do the croutons if you wanted to. You could do them in a pan and pan fry them. That's not a problem either. It's just, I always think if the oven is already on, you can just as well use it for many things. Right, and the last thing that we need now, which you don't actually need, but which I like because it looks festive, is I want to decorate our croutons with the salmon with a bit of pomegranate seeds. So everyone gets a little pomegranate seed and a tiny bit of chopped chives, and it looks a bit like a Christmas tree, you know, with like the green and the red bauble. So I've got my pomegranate here, and I know a lot of people in my cooking classes ask me, how do you open a pomegranate without completely ruining your dress? So I've tried many tricks, and I've seen Jamie Oliver bashing on it and just going like, bah, 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 and they fall out. Well, I don't know, I might not have so much elbow grease because mine don't fall out. So what I do is I take a bowl of water and I break up my pomegranate half underneath the water. So what will happen is if the juice comes out, it doesn't come onto you, it comes into the bowl, into the water. So you'll get a slightly red water, but you won't get any messy dress. And you just pull them out like that under the water. So that's how I always remove my pomegranate seeds. And I'm a bit sad because I got a pomegranate here that doesn't have much color.
Mm.
Are you all using pomegranate? Do you all have a pomegranate there? Oh, yours is nice. Mine didn't get much sun, I think. It's very pale. Well, it happens. And with the pomegranate seeds, since it's a huge pomegranate, it's going to give you so many seeds. And for our little appetizer, you don't need so many seeds. So with the remaining seeds, what can you make? You can sprinkle them on salads. I love that personally. I love having it on a beef stew, or if you have a game, you know, now it's the time of game, wild, also venison and all that stuff. If you put a bit of pomegranate seeds on that at the end before serving, it gives it so much zing and nice color and good flavor. And then of course on yogurt or any kind of desserts, it's nice. Or even have it in your water, slightly crush it and then drink it with a bit of mint. It's very nice. So I think it's gone really quiet. So I have a suspicion that lots of you are already eating the sausage rolls. I have a feeling. No, but that's good, because what is the time? I think we're pretty good.
Yeah, it's
10 to 7.
10 to 7.
Perfect. Okay, so we're running 5 minutes late because we took a bit longer to start. So actually, it's worked out perfectly. Good. And now I can drain the pomegranate seeds, and I'll use a few to decorate. Let's have a look at the croutons. You can also turn them over once if you want them to become crispy on both sides, but if you want them extra crispy, you can actually brush them on both sides with oil. We just did one side now, but I always find it's a bit decadent. Good. I will actually try a first sausage roll. Who is with me? I will have one. Oh, love it. So simple, so good.
It's nice.
Oh, I'm burning myself.
Are they hot, Anne?
Oh, what?
Can I ask a question? You're so relaxed. Were you always this relaxed cooking?
Me?
Yeah.
Nah. Well, it depends. This is really some food that I've made quite a lot of times, and I know not much can go wrong. But when I'm testing recipes, I'm normally meticulously writing down what I'm doing.
Okay.
But yeah, whenever I have a dinner party, which I haven't had in a very long time this year, but I always only do food that I can prepare ahead.
Yeah.
I always do things also like these sausage rolls that can just go in the oven again. They're warm, they're perfect. I make big stews, I make curries, I make things where people help themselves. At all my dinner parties, I put the stuff on the hob and I say, everybody now come and help yourselves.
Oh.
Because I like I'm not somebody for trying to have too much shishi. I like it honest home food and home cooked with a lot of flavor and a lot of love. And
very nice.
The whole rest. Okay, there's my timer. So I think, yes, my croutons are good. On my plate, they're very hot, obviously. And ideally, they cool down a tiny bit before you put the pate on. But now my kitchen is too small for all these things. People are always quite surprised when they see the kitchen that it's really quite small. But you can do a lot of good stuff in a small kitchen too. You can put them on a serving plate. So if you let them cool down for a tiny bit, it's better because we're serving it for the salmon, but we're eating it now, so who cares? And then you can pipe a little pate on it. Or put it on with a spoon. It's no problem. And I just realized it's not coming out as easily. If it's hard to take off because I realize that it's not, the piping is not always coming off smoothly, you can just cut off the top. So we'll stick a pomegranate seed on there anyway, so nobody sees we cheated.
That is so much fun to make.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
It's something, again, you can do everything ahead, and then just when you're ready to serve, you pipe the pate on. Don't pipe it before, because otherwise your crouton will go really limp and really damp. But if you're just doing it before you serve, it's perfect. And the pate as well, if you have some leftover, which I doubt lots of you will, but if you do, you can just also eat it in the morning with some scrambled eggs and toast. It's really nice.
It's a very glamorous breakfast.
Well, yeah, come on, it's Christmas time. We should. As I said, that was my student indulgence. Getting some smoked salmon pate from Sainsbury's and eating that on a Sunday, I felt so glamorous.
Who is piping? Who is spooning? Are there any pipers?
We're piping.
You're piping. Let us have a look.
We got a piper, but we're not piping yet because they're still in the oven.
Ah, okay.
We're the same, waiting for them to come out the oven.
So I've just finished my plate. I don't know if you see it well.
Oh,
Oh,
It looks very festive and very nice.
that's amazing.
I'll put a little photo of this.
Wow.
How do you show them in the middle?
I mean, considering that we've just made this all from scratch within 45 minutes.
yeah.
This is quite a good couple of recipes to have up your sleeve for the future.
People are getting pickled. I love watching people get drunk.
Who's getting drunk?
I was just joking that, are there any pickled pipers?
And what?
Pipers.
It's a joke.
pickle
never
piper.
mind. I can see Sinead laughing at me.
So I will make a photo. I'll put the Christmas tree out. And I'll have you in the background, all of you. Right. So who's ready to show me what you've made?
Yeah.
Hold it in the camera.
Just a second. I'm still decorating.
No stress, no stress. And just to let you know, this is a recipe, like the sausage rolls is a recipe from my new book, which is called Flavors of Home. And I've just published that a month ago. So it's actually the recipes I made during lockdown here in Luxembourg. And I added a little QR code to each recipe. So you can watch me make the recipe here in my kitchen.
Wow.
What a great idea.
Yeah. And
Where can we?
Fantastic idea.
That's a really good idea. Yeah.
Where can we get the book, Anne?
Yeah, where
But
can you
if you
get the
live in
book?
Luxembourg, you can get it in every bookstore, or you can email me on anne@anneskitchen.lu, and I sign copies and I send them out.
Wow.
And I'll have them on Amazon. But to be honest, if you order them from Amazon, you order them also from me. So it's the same as if you actually.
Really nice. Big ones. Beautiful.
But yes, please feel free. So who's
We've made the
What?
stove.
That's massive. Oh my God. I want to reach through the screen and get one.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Who else can show? I want to take some photos of you making stuff. Oh wow.
Sarah, very good, Sarah.
Aaron, beautiful. When should we come over?
The Miller family, fantastic.
Those are perfect.
The Notter family,
Wow.
looking really good. The Campbells, lovely. Two Campbells. We have two Campbell families. Oh,
Perfect.
so Donna, lovely. Sinead and Julian, really
yes.
nice. Yeah.
Bravo.
Has anyone tried them yet? Any of them?
Well, that's why I'm not showing ours. We've tried about half of them. There's
Beautiful.
Very nice, Natalie.
Also you do.
Yeah, no more left, huh?
Mustard's great. So good in it.
So do you like both? You also like the ones with the salmon?
Mm.
Not ready yet.
We're running behind in the sun.
Lower.
Mm.
Cool. Well, I think that was fun, and I think everybody managed to make amazing.
Those are beautiful. Those are gorgeous. Put some in the freezer for me the next time I visit. The light they'll last 5 minutes. Beautifully done.
Oh, and the little angels.
Put some of the pictures that you took on Instagram, hashtag BCC Luxembourg and hashtag Anne's Kitchen. We would love to see what you made.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to, if you're on Instagram, I am on Instagram at as Anne's Kitchen. So if you want to follow me and also just tag me in the post, that would be great. Because I'm happy about that always to see when people made it. And also, if you're generally, if you want to follow me on Instagram and also on Facebook as Anne's Kitchen, I have some really good Christmas recipes on there and some comfort food, amongst others, fondue with carcase. So anyone in Luxembourg who likes carcase, it's a must try. And lots of Christmas baking recipes at the moment up as well. And I'm posting everything in English always, which some Luxembourgers are annoyed by, but I always say, I am international, I am orientated towards everyone, so we need to speak English. So all my content on my website, anneskitchen.lu, is also in English. And my videos, the videos on my YouTube and also from the book, are in Luxembourgish, but they're subtitled in English so that people understand it, and people who learn Luxembourgish can also maybe learn a thing or two from the language.
That's great.
Right. I think
Well,
now time to tidy up the kitchen and to eat, huh?
And drink. And thank you so much. This was an amazing cooking lesson, and I learned so much, and I'm sure the recipes that we learned today will be a big hit at any party once we're allowed to meet again. And your book is available at all bookstores, a beautiful Christmas present. So thank you again, Anne Faber, for hosting this class. This was fantastic.
Thank you all. It was really cool. And I love the fact that so many people had their cameras on and showed what they did. So many families. Such a sweet atmosphere, honestly. I feel like we're all connected, even though we're all in our own kitchens.
Yeah. So thank you the cooking community, and I'll let you have your dinners with your families. Once again, I would like to thank DO Recruitment for sponsoring this session. Keep in mind, we will have more 12 days of Christmas sessions next week. And while we're enjoying the splendor that we created today, don't forget to think of some people who are less fortunate than ourselves. It's the Stimme von der Straße, which serves the homeless community in Luxembourg. If you have a minute, then please make a donation.
Nice.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Enjoy your food.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Really
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, John.
Bye. Thank you.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Smile with the
Nice, great picture. Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
We need to wash our hands before we can.
You're so long,
Cool.
Look at Pompey's up there.
So if you want to stay in there, I think you can. Otherwise, you press leave, I think. I will press leave now then.
Bye, Anne.
See you all again.
Bye, Anne. Thank
So
you very much.
Now I need to do the dishes.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Anne.
Bye. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Anne,
Yeah.
a quick question. So our patty is a little bit thick. We're struggling to get it
Oh,
out.
it's very thick, that one is.
Yeah.
So what you, I think that's not going to come out. Maybe you've got a tiny hole as well in that piping thing. Well, what I'd say is like open it up and spoon it on.
Spoon it on.
And
Okay.
for next time, before you put it in the piping bag, just check the consistency. And if it's too tough, you just add a bit of more lemon juice or a tiny bit of milk or water or cream or anything to make it a bit more smooth.
Okay.
And if you use a tiny hole in your, in your piping bag, it will be very hard to get anything out. For pâtés, just use a bigger star nozzle.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm sure it will taste the same.
Yeah, true. It will taste the same. We just
Absolutely.
But we had great fun and we'll get it sorted.
Good.
Thank you so
Thanks for
much.
joining. Thanks.
Question.
Bye.